y'all, it's Michelle from the Scattered Scrapper. Welcome to my channel. Today is day 4 of Scrap-O-Ween. It is Trick or Treat Tuesday. I've got my pictures picked out, papers picked out, a bunch of different embellishments. Not quite sure what direction I'm going to go just yet, but I am doing these pictures here of my younger daughter with this very, very creepy clown behind her at the spirit store last year. So this technique today that I'm going to be trying is the packaging technique, and we're going to find out, is it a trick or is it a treat? So let's get started. For my background, I have this black and white piece of paper from Bella Boulevard's Sweet and Spooky collection, and I've got several distressed oxide inks that I have picked out. I have this black soot, I think is what it's called, and then I have, what is that, cracked pistachio, kitsch flamingo, and squeeze lemonade. And I picked these colors out to kind of go with the clown's costume. So all I'm doing is rubbing some of the ink onto the back of this, or onto this clear packaging here, and putting a little water on it, and then just barely touching it to my paper. And I think that this technique is a treat. I just love doing this. That it makes me want to get out a whole bunch of cardstock and just go splatter stuff everywhere. And have a whole bunch of mixed media backgrounds ready to go. So see here, since I had so much left over, I went ahead and put it on there on some white cardstock. So, because I don't want to waste all of this beautiful ink. And these particular colors can work in summertime too. So I'll have me a background already ready for summer pages next year. So I am going back and using my little water brush here to add some more splatters from each of the colors all the way around. And then the last thing I'm going to do is put some splotches of the black. I didn't do that at first because I wasn't exactly sure where I wanted it. And I think I end up, no, you can see it. I was going to say, I think I end up covering most of it up. Now that in the middle, you don't hardly see that at all, so don't worry about that. I cover that up. But I wanted to get a little bit more of the splotchiness of the black and not just the splatters. So here I'm using this teal colored paper with the spiders and the spider webs on it to back my photos. And I have trimmed them down just a little bit. I think they're 5 1/4 by 4 instead of 6 by 4 now. And I get these trimmed up and get them backed. And then I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do. Like, I don't have a sketch to guide me, which I usually do because I'm really busy and I don't have time to think. I need those sketches to kind of help me get layouts made, and I don't have one for this particular layout, so I'm kind of not floundering, but unsure exactly where I want to put my pictures. But I think I'm going to want them in the upper left corner. I did try them down in the bottom right, but I didn't want to cover up all the yellows and the pinks. And there's a lot more of the purple, of the green on there, and it's peeking through. Plus, the pictures are backed by the teal, and then I am going to use these alpha stamps from Ellie Studio that has the little stars in the outline. And I'm going to use the teal paper, and I'm going to stamp part of my title. So I just go ahead. I need to clean my stamp off a little bit before I put it back. There we go. It's not completely clean, but it's going to work for now. And I go ahead and get all the letters stamped that I want for my word. And I haven't used these before, so I rub them on my arm to kind of get the manufacturing stuff off and kind of dirty them up so they'll take the ink. And there I have the letters all stamped out, and I also have the dies for this particular stamp set, so that makes it really easy to cut them out. So I'm just going to trim these up so I can run them through my little sidekick here. And I've got all of the letters for the word husband. When we walked into the spirit store for the first time and she saw this particular decoration, I mean, I guess you could put it on your porch or something, I'm not sure, but when she first saw it, she was like, I love it, and she went and stood beside it, and she whipped around and looked at me, and she said, he's my husband, Mom. I about rolled. I was dying. It was so funny. I don't know what it was about this particular creepy clown that she thought was just so wonderful that she had to just declare that he was her husband. But there you go. So I insisted I must get a picture of the happy couple. Oh, so here I'm going through some die cuts, and I have die cuts from the Sweet and Spooky collection. But the ones I went through first are from, what is it? A Simple Stories, one of their Disney collections. It's the one for the Halloween things they do down there. I'm not sure. I've not ever been to Disneyland or Disney World, so I'm not really sure. But I have these die cuts, so I'm going to figure out a way to use them. And there's a lot of cute stuff in that particular die cut pack, so I pulled out quite a few. And I'm picking through the Bella Boulevard ones. I just love this collection. I wish that I had the full collection. I've got the Sweet and Spooky collection through Peachy Cheap, so there was only a few pieces of paper and the 2 embellishment packs. But it was so pretty. I really do wish I had discovered that collection before it was an old one. I think the colors and the flowers in that collection are just they're so pretty. But we're going to use what we got, and I love it. So here I'm trying to figure out where I would like to put this little string of Halloween lights, and they're going to end up there. I'm going to like move them around a little bit because I'm not sure where I want to put everything. So things kind of get shifted around a little bit, but I know I want that You've Got Me Under Your Spell up there at the top because this clown just had her under his spell. And I've got the little arrows there and that heart up to the top. The heart doesn't stay there. It goes somewhere else. And before I put anything else on, I'm like, well, I've got a pretty big title. So I need to go ahead and get it down where I want it, and then I can start putting other things around. So since husband is like the big anchor for my title, I need to put it down first. And there you can see I tried to put the little Halloween lights somewhere else, but this is really, I like them. It's almost like I had put those pictures there just so that those little points would be perfect. I did not, but that's what it kind of looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and get husband glued down. And of course, since I've cut these out of paper, I have to use some kind of glue. And since I'm using my mixed media background, it's kind of crinkly, so using extra glue never hurts. So I'm also using it on the back of these little Halloween lights. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of the title down. And I work my way out from the middle to make sure everything is kind of lined up. And then I want to make sure that Mom is in the right place. And I'm thinking about using that eek, because that's kind of, not that I actually said eek, but I did have a moment of surprise when she just kind of hollered out, "He's my husband." So that eek, I think, would work really well. So I picked out these die cuts, and the oval one with the teal on it says "Scary Stuff," and the tombstone says "I'm a goner." Because, yeah, I mean, if your daughter came home with that as her husband, I think we would be a goner. And we would be shocked and be 6 feet under. And then I was thinking about using that little die cut right there that I have in my hand now that says "So Cute Together." But it was kind of small. I didn't quite like it right there. So I end up putting this big orange with the black polka dot star. And I like how that's looking. And I have these other little stars and the little hearts. And I'm thinking, what else can I put on here? I look at these little flare buttons, but they don't make it. And I'm looking at these Doodlebug stickers. I got a lot of stuff from PT Cheap like a year or two ago. So it's going to take me forever to get through all of that stuff. Especially because some of the, like Doodlebug, I sometimes find hard to use because it's very cutesy. And my style isn't really cutesy unless I'm working with the girls when they're really young. And then I don't have a problem with it. But it's a little bit harder when they're older. So maybe they'll be saved for grandchildren in the future. We'll have to see. That, or I will get to little bitties. My kids when they were little bitty. Which, you know, we're never caught up. And that's fine. That just means we just have lots of things to scrapbook. So I'm going ahead and I'm getting everything glued down and seeing all of where they need to go. And I like how everything is laying, so I'm going to get them stuck down. And let's see. Yep, I put these back, and I'm still kind of debating on whether I want to put the eek down. And there's a thing that I have noticed now that I'm putting all of these embellishments down, I'm gluing them down, is that my photos are a little bit higher up than I think I wanted. I do wish I'd have pulled them down towards the center just a little bit more to give myself a little bit more room up at the top. But that's all right. We're going to work with it. And since I didn't do that, that leaves some room down there at the bottom right of my layout. And one of the things that I'm looking at this and I'm like, everything looks very square and shoved up in the upper left part of the paper. So I'm really, even with these enamel dots, I'm trying to make things look a little bit more organic, a little bit more flowy and not so blocky. So I try to put them up here at the top, but I don't have enough room because, I mean, it would be fine if I put them here, but I just don't like how that looks with them being so close together and tucked under the arrows. So I'm like, no. So the only other option I have is to extend my layout down into that lower right corner, which doesn't bother me at all because my favorite way to embellish a page is on the diagonal. But I honestly did not mean to have 3 layouts in a row that were decorated on the diagonal. It just kind of ended up that way. So hopefully you enjoy a diagonal as well. But there I had plenty of room for my response to "He's my husband, Mom" with "Eek!" Because that really would be kind of scary. So to kind of fill in more of that diagonal, I add these little stars here. And then the last thing I'm going to do, and you will probably see it in probably every single layout, are those Tim Holtz Distress mica stains. I am absolutely loving them. They are so fun. When they dry, they are so shimmery. I am loving them. So here I am using this purple one since I've got a little bit of purple in this layout with the die cuts. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. And I don't remember the name of that one. What is it? Nope, that's the wrong one. I will find it. Oh, it is Fortune Teller. The name of that one is Fortune Teller, and it is a beautiful purple shimmer. I love it. And that is gonna do it. I hope you are enjoying Scrap-O-Ween, and I hope that you will give the this technique a try. Packaging technique. It's really, really simple, so I think it's definitely a treat, and I will be using it more often. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.